Hey guys, welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to be making these mini wreaths, and this is the pieces that I have to do it. These are bows from the dollar store, ribbon from the dollar store. This was $5.99 for 25 feet at Hobby Lobby, and then some fake snow that I ordered on Amazon. So getting started, I'm going to be using this bowl for my measurements for the circles. So the bigger circle is going to be the head of the mini, and then I'm going to use that top part of the bowl to use a circle for the ears. And when I make my length of the garland for this circle, I leave about an extra inch of garland because that gives me room to use the hot glue. And when I use the hot glue, if you notice, I am pulling back the leaves of the garland as best I can, so it's really more wire to wire, and then the leaves can kind of spread around that hot glue place. And I'm really holding that down for a couple seconds to make sure it's nice and tight glue. Okay, so the next thing that I'm doing here is I'm using the top circle of my ball as a measurement to make the ears so that they're a bit smaller. I'm using wire cutters because it really won't work with scissors. And again, I'm also leaving about an inch of garland to do the same hot glue series that I did to the larger circle for the head, pulling back the leaves, letting it really get a tight fit there for a minute, and let that dry. Okay, so the next thing I'm doing here is getting my ears and my head, and it's time to glue those together. So when I'm doing this, I make sure that the spot where it was glued on the head is kind of on the top where it's going to be covered by ribbon. And then for the ear to head, I'm making sure I'm using both those hot glue spots where it'll be nice and stiff in order to connect them. I'm adding a lot of extra glue to make sure that it's gonna hold. Alright, and once I have the ears on the head, it's time to add some fake snow to the garland. So I'm going to spray this down, and then it'll look cute and frosted. And I like to do this in short spurts rather than spray down the entire thing, because then it just kind of looks white. So I do little short spurts so that it's kind of an open, snowy look. So I gave that some time to dry, and now I'm back to put the ribbon. And yes, my son gave me these power rings because we were playing on that break. So anyways, I'm taking this dollar store ribbon and I'm gonna fold it in half. And I like to leave a lot of extra room so that you have extra room for measuring how low or high it'll be on the cabinet. So I'm just pulling that through and around our wreath, and then I'm gonna hot glue the ends of it together so that it's a closed circle around the wreath. And then once I have that ribbon at a good spot, that's when I'm gonna add these sparkly dollar store bows. So these were $1 for both of them. And I wanna make sure that the ribbon's in a good spot, because I'm actually gonna hot glue that ribbon, that bow right onto the ribbon. So I'm gonna kind of pull it tight here so that I know exactly where I'm gonna place that bow. And hold it tight for a few seconds while it dries. And now that my wreath is made, it's time to hang it. So I'm using some painter's tape just to keep my cabinets nice. I don't want to be pulling any paint off my cabinets. So I'm using painter's tape, and then I'm gonna grab my wreath. And since I did already do one this morning to make sure that my idea would work, now that I'm hanging the second one, you know, you gotta make sure that they're even with each other. So I'm kind of eyeballing it, and then I'm gonna take that painter's tape and make a crisscross on the ribbon so that it's on the other side of the cabinet, out of sight, and looks good. So here it is. So here they are in my kitchen. I just have 2 on both sides, but obviously you can do as many of these as you want depending on how your kitchen's laid out. And this is how it's hanging, so it's nice and safe for the integrity of the cabinet. And there you go.